Yeah, we're late. But listen, that's because my power went out and I don't know what the fuck.
Better late than never.
Yeah, and it was like not even just my regular breaker. They had to go all the way down into the breaker of the entire complex thing. So yeah, I can't go down there. So we're here though. We made it 12:30. Posted on Twitter if you've seen it. So shout out everybody that made it, and shout out my co-host that made it because these are two amazing guys. Got my man MMA Pickers up there, and you should be able to hear. There we go. There's their names. Got my man the MMA Pickers up there, our MMA analyst and sports betting connoisseur. And he's the one who guides us to the right picks every week. And we got my man Mallory Woods down there, karate guy himself and commentator, beautiful voice in the MMA space and combat sports space in general. So we got a good show for you guys today. We're going to move a little quicker than usual because we lost 30 minutes and it's quite a few topics to get through. And at the top of the hour, 1 o'clock p.m., we have Arturo Vergara, bantamweight champion, coming by to talk about quite a few things. Upcoming fights, his last fight, all of the debacles and stuff that went on, and what's to come for the People's Champ. So, great show. First off, always got to start off. How y'all feeling today, boys? What's going on?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Ready for Saturday.
Yes, indeed.
Exactly. Yes. That's when the fights. Well, the fights start tonight. Well, actually, before we start, prayers out to anybody that's in Thailand, anybody that was affected by the earthquake this morning. I know we've had the Karate Combat's had our back and forth with one championship, but they did have to cancel their event today due to it. And we never want to see that happen, right? We want to see everybody win, regardless of the fact. And we don't want to see people get hurt. So prayers out to the people in Thailand. It's a lot of our combat sports community that lives in Thailand. The entirety of the Muay Thai culture is basically there. So shouts out, prayers to all of them over there. And we're hoping everybody. I actually have friends over there that had to contact that live close to Bangkok. He lives in like Pattaya, I think that's how you say it, or something like that. So, but he said his building shook, but stuff like that. They felt it, but not really. So, shouts out to those people, and our hearts out to them. We pray for Thailand and the government and everybody over there to get everything cleaned up and get everything back to normal. It's tough. Mother Nature's tough. She's a tough cookie, and she's relentless. She holds no bars for nobody.
Everybody's equal in her eyes.
Everybody's equal in her eyes. Yeah.
Everything just goes out the window, man. That's crazy.
Yep. Mother Nature's the best humbler in the world. Indeed. We think we big and bad, but it's one thing we can't control, and that's her. So yeah, man, prayers out to those people. Let's get this show started off. And we're gonna start off with a great topic because it's a lot been going on. We've been talking about this for like the last 2 months. We've been talking about Jon Jones. Okay, we're gonna go there. We're talking about Jon Jones, but Don Davis, PFL founder, publicly offered Jon Jones $50 million to fight Francis Ngannou, who is the PFL heavyweight champion, and a fight that we've all wanted to see for a while, right? Mm-hmm. I think I agree with everybody that this is something that's supposed to happen in the UFC, and we want to see it. Now, these two are separate leagues, but we have an opportunity to bring the two together and make the super fight happen. Now, this would be absolutely insane. I think it will probably be the biggest heavyweight fight of combat sports history in the realm of MMA. It could be argued when you add in boxing and things of that sort, of that nature, because we don't know the result of how this fight is going to end up. It could be real quick. Who knows? You know what I mean? These are two dangerous fellas, right? Mm-hmm. But nothing set in stone yet. Something that Don Davis threw out there. Dana White has said absolutely nothing about this. The Saudi investors have shown interest and said that they have the bankroll to make it happen. So I guess at this point, it's just seeing what Dana's going to say. Is this Dana going to play? Dana's really picky about doing cross promotions. We have not seen it a lot in the tenure of the UFC. I think maybe once or twice max. So this is going to be interesting to see if it happens. And because we are short on time, I'm going to go ahead and throw this part into it as well. Cris Cyborg caught wind of this and also said that she will fight Kayla Harrison on the same exact card, which in my mind would be absolutely insane. Probably be one of the best matchups as far as like power, strength, wrestling, and just all togetherness. And you have you have the greatest combat sports female of all time. I don't care what you say. Cris Cyborg is the epitome of that. And then you have Kayla Harrison, this rising star who's like on a Ronda Rousey type of rise, right? This would be absolutely insane to see this card happen. I mean, this main and co-main, I don't even want to know what's going to be in the rest of the card. You know what I mean? It's going to be UFC 300 type of vibes. It's going to be UFC 100, 200 type of vibes. It's going to be those massive. And if you get Saudi involved, now you're looking at it being like that big boxing event that happened in LA where they had all championship fights, right? This is saying, I guess I want to know what you guys think. What's the percentage of this happening? And if it does happen, what do you got?
I'm gonna jump out first. Trying to be quick for time. If somebody offers you a $50 million bag and the only thing that's preventing you from doing it is a contract that you sign, how upset would you be if you can't take that? But also throwing into the mix, if they're giving Jon Jones 50 mil, what are they giving Francis? And also, how's that split going to work with UFC? Because what is Dana's motivation to take this? But besides, put on, of course, the biggest and greatest of all time. Great. We always want to do that. We want to outdo ourselves. But how much is he going to have to split? That's the question.
Yeah. I think that is the big question. Who do you think you don't know who will win this?
No. I'm sorry. I didn't throw out the prediction. You know what? I'm going with Johnny Bones just because he wants to stay away from those 10-pound, 25-pound hammers that Francis throws and take him down to the mat where we know that it's going to be a little bit easier struggle. We're going to cover the ladies separate, or is this in the same topic?
Shit, throw it in there. Who you think of Cris Cyborg and Kayla Harrison? What do you think about the matchup in general?
I like that matchup, man. I like it. I think that both women are for both things for peaking at the same time. I mean, Cris Cyborg has always been around. You know what the reputation is. You know the legacy. Kayla is coming up at the right time to challenge her. She's got the size. She's got the experience. I think this comes down to if Cyborg is able to touch her up. If she can, then it's gonna be a long night.
100%. MMA pickers, I'm fiending to hear what you got to say about this, man. I know this gets that MMA blood boiling inside you, and you see these two giants face off to potentially face off with each other. I think it's
a big tease. I wish it was real. It's just a big tease. I think there's one reason and one reason alone the UFC will never let this happen. It would be the first time in 10, maybe 15 years that another organization actually produced a world-class card. And by world-class card, I don't mean that, the fighters aren't, top 100 in the world, top 20 in the world. But how often do you see a card full of people in the top 3 of the world competing with each other outside of the UFC? It's basically never happens. If this fight happens, it truly puts PFL on the map. If this fight happens, this is a better co-main and main event than 90% of UFC pay-per-views that have ever happened.
Yeah.
This is like the best way somebody can get into being in competition with the UFC. But it's also worth noting, I think a large part of the reason they did offer this kind of money to Jon Jones is they took Francis coming off of his big win over Dana White with all this aura, and then he goes and he fights Tyson Fury and he looks incredible. And, he has his 2-fight, $20 million contract with the PFL, but then he goes and fights Anthony Joshua.
Different story.
Yeah.
Right. Takes a lot of his aura away. And we see that in pay-per-view sales because when he fought Hernan Ferreira for the PFL, they did like 15,000 sales. And they paid the fighters in the main event $12 million.
Yes,
and their pay-per-view sales are not $85 a piece like the UFC. Not even close. I think they're like 20, 30. So I think the only way that the PFL can ever sell 1 million pay-per-views or hundreds of thousands of pay-per-views is a card like this. It has to be better than 99% is the UFC card, and the UFC will do everything in their power to make sure that doesn't happen. As far as winners, I think Jon Jones has his way with Ngannou on the ground. I think we've seen him avoid big power his whole career. I don't think Ngannou is especially technical. I think he blitzes you and throws big power at you, and I think Jon Jones is one of the most skilled fighters to ever do it. I believe in his ability to game plan for that. And as far as Kayla Harrison, Cris Cyborg, I think Kayla Harrison, we've seen her really struggle when someone's able to negate her takedown attempts. I think Kayla Harrison doesn't usually face women who are a good physical matchup for her strength-wise and size-wise, which Cris Cyborg would be. Mm-hmm. And I think if Kayla Harrison is forced into a striking exchange with Cris Cyborg, it's going to be a very, very bad night for her. Yeah. And not to be a total degenerate, but I want to do a little MMA math here for anybody who doesn't know. Cris Cyborg recently beat the piss out of the last person to beat Kayla Harrison outside of the UFC.
Yeah. Pacheco, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and which is insane because Francis Ngannou and Cris Cyborg were on that card together as well. So it would be a dope fight to see, man. I honestly I agree with both of you guys. Dana is, I mean, why would you let the PFL climb out of the trenches and get up there with you? That doesn't make perfect sense. Maybe if it's majority UFC, maybe it's like, look, this is a UFC event, we're allowing him on it, and they particularly keep it strictly UFC branding. Maybe it could happen. Who knows? I would love to see this. I would love to just see Jon Jones fight. I just don't give a fuck. I don't care if he fought a chicken in the octagon. I'll be okay with it at this point because I just want to see Jon Jones fight again. Mal, go ahead, shoot.
One random question is: if you're Tom Aspinall and you see this news breaking, first with 6 months to fight Jon Jones, then a potential, how does he have to give up on Jon Jones?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. If this were to happen, yes.
Right, everything would happen, but you got to feel pissed.
Last fight. This would be the finish off, but as of now, no, because of what MMA Picker said, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But I think these are the fights that Jon Jones was talking about when he said, "I want fights that matter. I want to fight people that matter." Which, not saying Tom Aspinall does not matter. He does matter. We know he's the future of the heavyweight division. We know he is the interim champion. We know who he is. We know what he can do. You've shown and proven this. I think Jon Jones is just going for legacy right now. Yeah. See if he beats Tom Aspinall. Like, I know it's what the fans want, but I don't think it's what history really is gonna tell. Like, I don't think the Tom Aspinall fight is gonna be the part we talk about in Jon Jones' career, if he fights him or if he doesn't. If he doesn't, I think it will be because the haters will just be like, duck. He ducked. But like Daniel Cormier said, the last thing I'm gonna say before we move on is to Tom Aspinall, don't poke the bear. Because John's a mean bear. You know, that's what they said. What's the worst bear? Is it the black bear or the brown bear? One of them? Or no, it's actually the polar bear, I think, is the worst bear. Yeah, the polar bear is the most vicious, and that's Jon Jones. So don't poke the bear. You might find out what happens, but we'll see. The Jon Jones saga continues. Every week it's this next week on, and you know, we talk about something new about Jon Jones that may or may not happen. Quick, and I'll shoot this one to MMA Pickers. I want to hear Sean Brady upset Leon Edwards this weekend. And to be honest, I feel like,
he was the favorite.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Not upsets Leon Edwards, but you know, he upset Leon Edwards.
Oh, Leon is upset. I'll tell you.
Let me rephrase that. He upset Leon Edwards by being, you know, the victorious one out of the matchup. And in a very dominating way, right? I think we've seen that Leon has been exposed that he has absolutely no wrestling. And it's shown with these top guys. Bilal threw him around. Sean Brady did the same thing. Sean Brady literally, I'm pretty sure Dean Thomas was like, listen, you see what Bilal did? It works. Just do the same thing. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, Dean Thomas is a very simplistic person. And if it works, it works. There's no need to fix something that's not broken. I want to hear MMA Pickers. What was your takeaway from this fight? What did you see? What did you like about this Sean Brady, Leon Edwards? And do you feel like he's exposed now? Like, is it over for him in the top of that division now?
I mean, I think a lot of people expected the fight to go this way after watching his fight with Bilal. I do think it's over for him at the top of the division. The game plan is pretty clear. Take him down. That's what the last two guys who beat him did, and there's a lot of really good grapplers in the division right now. You know, you put him against a guy like Shavkat, you think he's going to do any better? I really don't believe so.
Way.
And yeah, I just after so much time on the top, after a 14-fight win streak, I think you might, you know, lose a little fire, get a little burnt out as well. You know, we've seen his coach trying to quote unquote wake him up in the corner, but this kind of reminds me of like when Izzy fought Dricus, in the sense that, you know, we all had this faith in Izzy's grappling. We've always been like, oh, it's good enough to carry him through. It's, you know, the takedown defense is good enough. We've never seen him get submitted, and then he got taken down and choked out. And this is more exposed than I think we've ever seen Leon Edwards before. I think this was a worse beatdown, far worse beatdown than he took against the Bilal fight. Worth noting, actually, in round 2, Brady actually broke the UFC record for most control time in a round, 4 minutes and 56 seconds. So he took down, just for context, he took down Leon faster than Jorge Masvidal knocked out Ben Askren.
I have a question.
What a stat.
Yeah.
Shoot, Mal.
Has Bilal been brought up on charges for the tweets that he said that night? And he went on an absolute tear during that fight. First of all, asking what time is it in London? Asking for Leon. Don't let him bully you, son. Which actually made me laugh out loud when I read it. Leon's still in the 5 a.m. time zone. He went to town.
I mean, this is what happens when you talk too much, and then the same thing happens to you on different circumstances than what you were, talking about in the first one, which were things that hindered you, right? I don't know, bro. It's crazy, man. Yeah, I agree with Pickers, man. It's over. And if Bilal get charged from slamming Leon on his head and flattening out the top of his head a little bit, I don't think he'll get charged for those tweets neither, brother.
I still think that was a spike.
Oh, that was a beautiful slam, bro. I'm not a Bilal fan at all, but the way he slammed him on his head, holy man. My person I was going for in that fight immediately changed after that slam. I just want to let y'all know. I went to DraftKings and I was like, I know.
I think that was illegal.
Huh? You think it was illegal?
I think he spiked him on his head. I think Mallory, what do you think?
It was very close. When I saw it, first of all, I was shocked, like, whoa, but the ref didn't stop it, so it makes it legal. They didn't protest it. But yeah, you cannot spike someone in the head. However, it didn't look like something you want to spend your Saturday night doing. And also one of the things, Mojed, the guy that does the animations, he actually began this animation starting from Leon's top of his head. I was like, why is he doing that? Oh, that's why he's doing it. So yes, that guy's low-key funny, man. He puts a lot of stuff into that.
Shout out all the MMA memers and giffers. They're the ones who've kept social alive, because a lot of the MMA fighters fucking suck at creating content, bro.
They keep us going from fight to fight.
Yeah, 100% they do. Yeah, MMA fighters get better at creating content, man. Holy shit. I'm going to start hosting seminars, man. I'm going to start putting together seminars for fighters, bro. I promise you. Because you would do so much better. But that's for another day. Let's talk about something real quick. I want to jump into this real quick, and then we'll talk about this last thing before we get Arturo on. Quick Kick 12. The Kick 12 weight class debate. And I think we talked about this on the show before. Karate Combat has brought to the fans, and if you know anything about Karate Combat, if you hold any karate tokens within the app, you're allowed to vote on certain things that happen within the league, which, shout out Karate Combat, sponsor of the show. You're able to vote on things that happen in the league, and one of the things that they brought to the league is a debate on the weight class structure of Karate Combat versus what the weight class structure is on regular MMA. So let me get this tab up real quick. Here we go right here. So it's basically voting on what we should name the weight classes. Now, I have a full video, if you go to Karate Combat's website, breaking everything down right here. The pros and the cons and everything else. But basically, right here, this breaks it down for layman's terms for people, so for the quickness that we need. In MMA, 205 pounds equals light heavyweight. But in Karate Combat, that is our heavyweight division, okay? All right. And then our super heavyweight division would basically be anything up forwards from that, right? And karate and regular heavyweight would be cut off at 265. So basically, it is keeping our regular Karate Combat traditional weight classes, which, if I'm not mistaken, Mallory, lines up with the Karate Association's weight classes. Is that correct?
So I'm trying to look. This is where you expose my eyesight. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to pull up on the other tab. I'm trying to.
Oh no! So I'm saying Karate Combat is based off of the Karate Associations and what the karate karatekas normally use. Correct?
I think that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. And then so basically the vote is, to break it down, the vote is to keep what Karate Combat has normally used, which is 205 is the heavyweights, and then versus up will be super heavyweights, or bring it down to MMA standards, which would be 205 will be light heavyweight, and then heavyweight would be 205 to 265. So this is the debate right now. I honestly want to hear MMA pickers, somebody who's like came in a karate combat ecosystem, like me, myself, coming from the other side of like MMA and like UFC and stuff, and the norm over there, what's your take on should they keep it or should they switch? Because it kind of makes them unique to keep it, but also it kind of helps with bringing new people in and understanding what's going on with switching it. So I wonder which one do you think weighs more on this?
Well, I think one of the reasons MMA weight classes are the way they are is, partially to compensate for the grappling elements. So I do like, even though Karate Combat obviously has far more limited grappling elements than MMA, it also has a lot of different, more challenging grappling elements when you factor in the pit. I like the MMA weight class structure for Karate Combat. However, I think as far as the heavyweight division goes, I'd love to see no cap. I really would love to see 2 350-pound monsters. Like, can you imagine like two of the strong men, like Eddie Hall and Hafthor Bjornsson, having their next boxing match in the pit or something nuts like that? All these guys are training MMA now on their channels. Like, I would love to enable the opportunity for this super heavyweight division. I don't really care what it's called so much. I just want to make sure we're not capped at 265 because I think that costs us a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to see the sumo dudes in there, bro. So I capped at 265. I'm like, I haven't put my vote in yet, man. I'm kind of waiting to see what the sentiment around the league is before I put my vote in. But Mal, what's your thoughts on this? As somebody who comes from like fighting in the Karate Association, fighting in these karate tournaments, and using this versus a normal MMA weight class structure, what do you think? Do you and you've been around Karate Combat longer than all of us in here right now? I think the only person who's been around longer is maybe Mac. But what are you thinking here, man? What's your vote? What did you vote? If you want to disclose that, you don't have to if you don't want to. I don't want nobody beating you up, player. Yeah, I don't want nobody beating you up.
Which way did you vote? Tell us. Well, so first of all, when I first got exposed to Karate Combat, I looked at the weight class and I was like, okay, this is a little different and everything. I have to lean towards what Pickers, was saying in terms of you have the MMA weight classes are for a reason to justify, certain elements and everything. But I'm fine with the restructuring of it. And especially like the image, trying to get the image of two sumo fighters in a Karate Combat pit is just living in my head rent free. Don't expect that many kicks in that fight.
Not at all.
However, I think it would be entertaining. However, the first super heavyweight, or what do we end up calling it, the does land an aerial spinning kick, I think there should be a special bonus for that, especially if they landed after that too, because I think the whole place would go nuts. But you know what? Line this up the way the fighters want to go. It doesn't make sense for fighters to cut too much weight. Obviously, you try to get away from that, but also you want to keep everybody in as quote unquote fair as possible. And then those people that exist out, the outline that are really tall and could somehow make a super lighter weight, and they have a crazy reach advantage and everything else. But and I have not voted yet, so
okay,
keep it a mystery.
Yeah, I agree with both of y'all, and I think this too is a lot of the times you see catch weights in Karate Combat, and I'm not for sure. I could be totally wrong from this, but that could be because the weight classes are a little bit different, and people are used to fighting at a different weight class somewhere else, and you bring them over here, and they're like, "Hey, well, can you come down to our, weight class at this?" It's like, well, I don't. That's not where I'm at, and it ends up being a catch weight. I could be totally wrong on that, but all I know is, from what I'm saying is, what I'm getting at is, it simplifies things, right? When the guys come over and they come over from these other promotions, right? It simplifies what they are going to understand with the weight classes. They already have to understand a new rule set. The last thing, you want them doing is also trying to understand now the weight class structure is different and all this other stuff, right? It's easy to just have a uniform with majority of the leagues they're coming from, because I think everywhere else but us in karate uses this, right? I could be totally wrong on that too, right? I don't know every league structure, but I feel like it's a good thing. Honestly, I'm leaning more towards switching it, because in the culture of Karate Combat and where it's moving towards, it is moving towards more a kind of MMA style thing, MMA style of, rules with the heavy karate base, right? And regardless of how you feel about the name, if it should change or not or whatever, it's gonna be Karate Combat forever. So you kiss ass. You kiss ass. It's Karate Combat. It's karate fighters in there, and some of those guys are the top of the top. Like some of them guys are Rafael Gaia, the champion. It's a karate guy. Sam Alvey, karateka. Like, these are guys that were Ross Lavina just left, karate guy. Like, these are guys that have done karate. So it's still Karate Combat. Those guys are in there, and it's on them to represent the name. That's the name of the game. You know what I mean? It's on them to represent the name and show what it is. So, yeah, it's going to be easier for these guys coming over. And speaking of guys coming over, before we bring on our guests, we got to talk about this guy. It's been a lot going on with him. Muhammad Mokaev was with the UFC, had a little debacle back and forth, was very outspoken there. UFC didn't really like it, which is it's kind of crazy for them because they usually kind of let you rock. They usually kind of like, they're just like, yeah, they usually kind of let you rock with whatever is going on as far as like you speaking on, or speaking your mind in general. You know, sometimes, you know, they do get a little upset and they might hit you to fight Gene Silva, you know. But majority of the time they kind of let him talk. Muhammad Mokaev was very outspoken and they had to let him go. He went back to Brave FC, which he was at before. He went to the UFC for a little while. I think he did one fight there, but now he is signed to Karate Combat. And he will be fighting on the Dubai card May 2nd, which is the next card, KC54. So this is going to be super dope. Other thing is why I'm really bringing this up too before our next guest comes in here, because Muhammad Mokaev is 135 pounder, which means he will be potentially fighting Arturo Vergara. Seeing as he can get through, you know, maybe 1 or 2 fights. I don't know how quick they'll move him up, seeing that he's coming from the UFC. But what do we think about this signing? What do we think? I think we all kind of knew it was up in the air and it could get here, because when Muhammad left, he was like saying a bunch of different like cryptic things of like where he was and was going to go. I think we thought he was going to come to Karate Combat, and then he posted the Brave gloves and was like, all right, I guess he's going there. But now he's at Karate Combat.
Say hi
to an already stacked division.
Yeah. He obviously says he speaks his mind.
100%.
And you add a little bit more spice into something that's going to be more spicy, that I think it'll be good for the division, good for eyes. It's good for building. And as I mentioned, just taking the Ice Cube line, say hi to the bad guy. You know, there's some people that wear that role very well, and they're comfortable sliding in it, being in that skin. There's some people who try to do that, and you can tell it's something that's a little bit put on. I think he's a natural at it.
Yeah. And that kind of leads to my next question too. Well, a question I have about him coming over, because I'm pretty sure MMA pickers seen this. Steve Erceg and him having a little bit of back and forth over the last week or so. Steve Erceg called him a privileged diva. And they had a little bit of back and forth. And, you know, as you said, like, he's very outspoken. He kind of took on the heel role in the UFC. I'm wondering, is that heel role going to transfer over into Karate Combat and kind of keep playing the bad guy, right? We know it sells fights sometimes, right? If they're good at it, if they're very entertaining at it. But do we see him maybe trying to turn a new leaf and do something different? I mean, this card is in Dubai, so I see him being a little bit more calm there. You know what I mean? Like, usually when they're in a Muslim dominant place, they're much calmer than when they're in other places, right? So pickers, what do you think, brother?
I think one of the biggest reasons Mokaev got kicked out of the UFC, at least according to the reports and according to Dana White, he had problems with other personnel, and he also sucker punched Manel Kape before their fight, which obviously it's a dirty move, but from a business side, it also jeopardizes the fight itself, because now you have to get re-cleared by the medical commission.
Yeah.
I would certainly hope he's learned his lesson, at least in those instances, as far as Karate Combat. I certainly don't think if he just talks shit to a bunch of fighters, that's going to be a problem. I think that's actually going to be great for ratings. And I think this is an absolutely genius move by Prez for a lot of reasons. Mokaev has millions of followers on social media. I think he has like 1.8 million on either Instagram or Facebook or something. I'm not sure. And then obviously through his other platforms, he has plenty as well. He's undefeated throughout his entire career, as you can see here. 23-0 as an amateur, 14-0 as a pro, 7-0 in the UFC. So, you know, to have this narrative where this guy who's untouched everywhere else in the world, and then you bring him into an organization like Karate Combat, who's on the come up and making all these great signings for, you know, Muay Thai legends, kickboxing legends, karate legends, UFC veterans, so on and so forth. And to bring a guy like this who's fresh and in the prime of his career, if somebody, whoever that may be, in Karate Combat can beat him and hand him his first L of his entire career, I think that really puts Karate Combat on the map as a world-class organization, and it really proves the caliber of the guys in that organization.
Yeah, 100% agree, man. And speaking of that, man, and people who could possibly do that, possibly hand them that elbow, that they never had before. Hold on, I think we lost him for a second there. I don't know if we lost him. He may be getting a phone call.
Someone, wasn't I?
Yeah. Well, this is the guy. This is the guy that can do it to him. Can you turn your phone to the side?
I was fucking here, right there, sideways.
Yeah, there you go. Is it going?
Sideways?
Is it going to link up?
Might have it locked.
Nah, you might have it locked. Yeah, it's cool. You could turn it back the way you had it.
But let me.
Yeah.
One adjustment. Hey, if anything, champions are good at it's adjusting. So
100%.
We'll
especially this man. He fight high altitude, low altitude, high altitude again.
You want to fight?
Guy on 4 hours. There it is. There we go. Papo. Speaking of players who could take that O from him, the bantamweight champion of the world, Mokaev. Arturo Vergara, my man. What's up, baby? How you feeling, Makako?
What's up, my bro? Everything good, my bro. Excited for this big news. I'm coming for the guy. I'm gonna take his head off. This is real striking game. This is fucking Karate Combat. This is striking. Fuck the bullshit. No wrestling, no grappling. Just striking. Real striking. Best striking league in the world.
Yeah, man. Listen, I mean, this is your first interview since they signed him, right?
Yeah.
So how does that make you feel, man? When these guys that are kind of hyped up. I'm not saying he's hyped up because he's accomplished a lot, right? He was in the UFC. That's a big accomplishment, right? When they bring in guys like this and they're in your division, does that get you excited? Like, you ready? I'm pretty much sure that is because I know you. But, you know what I mean? What was your feeling when you seen that he got signed?
Amazing, bro. Amazing, because this is exactly what we want in Karate Combat, like being like with the best athlete in the world, around the elite level of striking and athletes around. So it is super good. It's amazing for me. Give me more like that is spicy what I need,
Yeah.
Do you want to? So I know they got him fighting in Dubai on May 2nd. Granted, he gets the W there. Are you trying to fight him soon or what?
Say again. Sorry.
I said he's fighting in Dubai, and I know you're not fighting on that card, but it say he does get the win there. Are you looking to try to fight him soon? Are you and Leo to hear about that?
Hell yeah, I would love him. I would love to fight him. Like I would love to fight everybody, best in the world for real. Like, that's my main like. How you say it in English?
Objective.
Like, yeah, it could be like more like what drive you forward. When something drive you forward, that's like
Motivation.
I want to really like fight. Yeah, motivation, like with the fight with the best. So since I started this game, I say, bro, I want to be like in the best of the world. And to be the best in the world, you gotta fight with the best. Yeah. So I would love to fight him, and of course, like I have a lot of respect for the guy. I cannot deny what he's been doing and what he did in his whole career. He's amazing. He's undefeated. So yeah, for me, it will be a pleasure, an honor to even fight him, train with him. Like it is cool,
Yeah. I could see that. I could see why your favorite character is Goku now. He's like, I want to fight all the best. He can fight.
Exactly.
Him. He can fight.
Exactly.
I'm gonna fight him.
That's why. Exactly. Goku. That's why I'm fighting Goku. Because I don't have that ego about like win or lose more. I just want to fight. Just give me anyone. I just want to fight. But no anyone like any bomb. Give me the best of the best. I just want to prove myself.
100%. And I think you showed that in Denver because you didn't have to fight that guy. Shout out Zach Riley. Zach Riley took that fight on super short notice and not of a slouch at all. The number 3 in Colorado at that weight class. He fought Corey Sandhagen and Austin Bashi. This guy's no slouch. And I'm gonna tell you, he's a tough motherfucker. If you watch his Corey Sandhagen fight, he got hit in the liver early and got dropped like 4 or 5 times and just kept getting up and moving forward. So shout out him, but you didn't have to take that fight. You took the fight. You risked your record, all of this because it was a sanctioned fight. It was not a non-sanctioned fight. So if you lost in this fight, it would have affected your record. dude, like what motivates you to do that? Like, was it the fans? Like, was it the fans and like everything you had already kind of like pumped up, or you just was like, I just want to fight still?
No, I think like one, as you said, like my fans, the people who support me, but also my family. They are waiting for me in Chile. They are waiting for to get me like to get my residence to get a better future. So always I thinking of them. So I want to show them how much I've been improved, how much I've been working here too. Um, yeah, that for the people who support me for real, and also because I love fight too. So for me, it's like more than just fight for money on something. I do it for everything. That day easily I could take my money and go out. Like fuck this.
Mhm.
Go just
Yeah.
show up there, take my whole money, and being chill. But I say no, fuck that. I don't want to get that money without fight. For me, it's like no worthy. Like it is like I didn't win it. So
Hmm.
let's make it happen. And as you say, like a big shout out for him. Like he's a real one. I respect a lot like the people who really love the fight. You know, so they he doesn't really care about like win or lose too. So that's why I respect him and that's what I love. I think that's the real like spirit of the warrior. Because bro, if you're a fighter, you just love to fight. If you
Hmm.
just focus more into make money in this or I don't know on just win 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 win. So you don't really love this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I think you gotta be like 100% commit.
yeah. 100%. I think we seen that too with your opponent, your previous opponent that you were supposed to have. You have any thoughts on that? I know you spoke a lot. You were very outspoken on it, but I mean, now I
Yeah,
think the emotions have came down a little bit. You know what I mean? In the moment,
yeah,
our emotions gonna be high and stuff. But what's your thoughts now on like Jesus Lopez? I know he's not in karate combat no more. It's pretty much over for that, and it's gonna be kind of
yeah.
tough to get into any combat sports league. But like now, after like experiencing that, what's your thoughts on it?
Um, Now like more calm. After the whole situation. First of all, is why I have this.
Mm.
And he will never have it. And he never he didn't born from this. You know what I'm saying? Like he is like I don't know, maybe doing something in Peru. I don't know what is going to be his future, but he just wastes like the biggest opportunity of his life.
Yeah,
It's not like bro, you don't go like around the corner and you will get hey, you fighting for the title. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's not gonna
bro,
happen.
what the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
bro, it should be like the biggest opportunity in your life. That's what for me at least. I've been fighting for now like almost 13 years. And it was like the goal of my life, one of the biggest goal of my life. So even if you told me like in this moment right now, somebody call me on to fight title belt in UFC, one weight class above, I'm going. I don't give a fuck. I'm going because
yeah,
that's what I'm fighting for. So that being said, I think like he really did respect himself, also the company, also his family and friends, and his fans.
yeah,
Because he didn't was like even a man to recognize and being and say like, hey, I messed it up. I fucked it up. Let me try my best. I will try to make the weight. I
yeah.
will go as much down as I can, but I will try my best.
Yeah. That's like what
So
Sam said. Yeah, Sam said it in the press conference. He said, "I don't even know why you're here right now." He said,
that's what I'm saying.
"Yeah, you
Like
should be
bro,
trying to cut weight right now." Like, and I understand that it's completely understandable. Like, it,
that's what really pissed me off.
yeah,
That's what really pissed me off. It doesn't matter if you don't. Okay, you didn't make the weight perfect. Could happen, to everybody in the world because we're humans, and also it's hard to make weight. But I really respect if you really try because you are fighting for the title, even if it's a regular fight. So, and he always talking about like honor, respect, like the samurai code. I don't know. So for me, it's bullshit. For them, it's bullshit. It's like the same for me. It's like if you go say, "Oh, I'm religious. I'm going to the church, but I'm a fucking badass person," like, or I'm a bad person. I try
yeah,
or just I'm doing wrong. So what is the point? Like, not because you go to the church, you are allowed to do another things like or talk shit about another person, whatever it is. So it's the same for me. This guy is talking and also like teaching kids and his own student to be respectful, to be honorable, and he didn't make the way and he didn't try. So what kind of words is that?
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, fuck it. I say, um, I was mad, of course, because it was crazy. I don't know if you was there when we had a meeting. No, I think you wasn't there. But he said like, hey, I won't make the way, and also I won't pay for my purse. And I asked him, so what you doing here, bro? Like,
Yeah.
why you fly all the way here? You know, if
Right.
you knew you didn't want to fight, because nobody say 48 hours before of the weigh-ins, being 10 pounds over, I won't make the weight. That's a fucking dream wake up. 10 pounds over 2 days? Are you fucking kidding me?
I was
Bro, I
doing that
would
at
make
like
the weight
12.
easy.
I was doing that at like 12, bro, for boxing. Like, it's not. It's absolutely insane, brother. But your life moves on, and you show why you are the champ. Like you said, you'll never get this because at the end of the day, you got to have the championship tenure. We watched Jordan do it with the flu, right? He won a whole playoff game with the best of the best with the flu, and that's what it takes, right? Sometimes you are sick, sometimes you don't have a choice, but that moment is not going to come back around. So, Vickers,
100%.
I'm gonna pass the mic off to you, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. I was really obviously very impressed with your performance against Riley. One
Thank you.
interesting, of course, absolutely. It was really, as always, a sight to behold. One interesting thing I think that's unique about Mokaev, with all of his experience, his game plan is very clear. His aim is to strike to get you to the ground and hold you there and kind of wet blanket you. And I think because of that, there's not really a lot of tape on him out there to really see what his striking style is or what
Yeah.
his level of striking. So after going against a last minute opponent like Riley with not a lot of time to prepare, and now you have your eye on a possible fight with Mokaev in the future, who probably going to be pretty hard to prepare for under a new rule set like Karate Combat. How do you prepare for these guys that you don't necessarily have this kind of information on?
Um. Well, for me, the game plan always is going to be the same for me personally, and I just adapt. I will try to. When I get an opponent, I'm always like a nerd. I'm like a nerd in the fighting game. So when I see my opponent, I try to look for what he does, what are the patterns, how can I get into, like, how can I use my flow and put it into my game, because that's what really the fight is. It's not about like more than technique or nothing. Like, it's who execute the better plan, the fight plan, in the fight. Because, bro, fight game is one division, is 1 second, like less than 1 second, and you tuck a punch and you get knocked out, or maybe you sleep and you counter. So it is like super. It's super crazy at the same time. Yesterday I went to Barnacle, by the way, and crazy knockout. And you see there, like, bro, one punch can finish the fight. So
Yeah.
for him, I will try to find his weakest spot and put my pressure. But at the same time, I'm super confident, bro. And what I do, I'm super confident what I do. I think he will have more problems than me with him, right? Because I'm a fucking menace in the pit. Also, I know how to use the pit. That's the difference. And you could be the best MMA fighter, the best kickboxer, the best Muay Thai fighter, but bro, if you don't know how to use the fucking pit, you have real troubles, brother. I'm telling you, you're having real troubles now, because it's not like in the cage. It's not the same. It's not the same. But yeah, um, I think it is a good one for motivation. It is a really good one. You say, fuck, now we have elite athletes, in my weight class, guys who fought in UFC. So it is amazing. I think I will be training like 10 times more, 10 times more to get in my best shape, in my best like mental game, in my best like perform, everything, every single aspect of my game. I will work on it. And also, of course, like his strength, is the wrestler. So of course you want to try to take me down, but I'm ready to wrestle too. I'm ready to scramble too. I'm ready to do everything. So I'm a real fighter and complete fighter. I'm not scared of anybody. I'm ready to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have expected nothing less, of course. So this is the first time, pretty much in karate combat history, that you have a guy who's in his prime, active in the UFC top 10, coming
Yeah.
direct into karate combat. When you take his zero from him, obviously it's going to do a lot for you. What do you think that does for the organization as a whole?
Oh, it's big. It is big, 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 super big for everybody. That's bread for everybody. I will be like Jesus, when he shared the bread and the wine. For real. That's how I will be. Like take for everybody, guys.
There
But it
you
is what
go.
it is, That's what I'm fucking here to spread the bread, to give everybody. So give me anyone. I want to grow, I want to be in the top. I want to be the greatest of the all time. My mind is big, brother. My dreams are big. So I'm here to do it, I'm here to do it, bro.
100%.
All right, yeah, that's all for me. Mallory, you got anything?
Yes, I do, champ. Hey, thanks for joining us.
Hey, my
When
brother.
you came in the room, man, you brought this energy with you. I could feel it. You were. I mean, it just an explosion. Absolutely. One of the things I wanted to ask you is, how has life? Give us an example how life has changed since you got the gold that you have on your shoulder. How has life changed for you personally since you got that belt?
No, a lot, brother. It's been changing a lot, and every single aspect of my life. First of all, was um, I think like get the belt was like the top, like
Hmm.
one top of the bigger picture, but was like a switch in my mind when I say to myself, I can accomplish whatever the fuck I want,
Right, right.
you know, working hard, doing what I'm doing, keep the same pattern, I can achieve whatever I want. So that gave me another kind of confidence on myself. um Also in my life, I try
Hmm.
to as I say before, like I'm trying to spread this, brother, but not just the good, the winning, or get the gold, or get the bell, or get more money, or get more things. No, it's like share the mindset behind this,
Hmm.
because was a big process, was a lot of sacrifice, a lot of things, a lot of like being part of your family, a lot of like days working, side jobs, what after you gotta train, after you gotta do this, you gotta do that, So fighter life is really hard. So for me, it's super important to spread that message too. So
Hmm.
when I get the belt, everything changed. I say now I have this big responsibility in my shoulders,
Right.
and I need to be able to talk and spread this, the mindset.
Absolutely. One other thing I wanted to ask you, since when people see you, they say, okay, well, I don't want to be on the end of his punches. I don't want to be on the end of his knees. So obviously, we know about the warrior that does come into the pit, the cage, hell, street, could be a Waffle House, a parking lot, could be anywhere. What do you think is something about you that you could tell us right now that people will be like, oh man, I didn't know he was into that. Maybe, I don't know. I was going through your Instagram. I saw you riding horses. What is something about you that fans don't know that you could tell us to be like, oh man, I didn't know he did that. Something that's unique.
Oh shit. That's a good one. Let me see. Something unique.
The fans
What I did
wouldn't
before.
expect you. We know you're hitting bags. We know you in there, you're grinding, you weightlifting, everything else. But maybe it's something you do on the side, or maybe it's something you like. Like, hey, I like watching you know, football. I like watching pool. I like watching volleyball. It could be anything. Something that we don't
I
know.
think um well, a good thing about me is like I'm I'm a super it's like nerd too. I would say nerd, but in the thing, I love to do meditations,
Hmm.
visualizations, like have
Hmm.
that part of my like active life, like more calm, you know.
Yes.
And also, I'm not that crazy. Like I'm super calm. I'm super chill
Yeah.
for real. Like I'm super chill. Um, but yeah, and I study a lot. I love to study. You know, I love to study about life, about like um business. I love
Mhm.
business too. I love to sell things. That's what I love the most. I
Oh,
love
you
to
are
sell
good.
things.
You're good. You're a good seller. I will definitely tell you that. And that's something that we most fans, like you said, we see the warrior side of it and everything else. But also that is definitely important. That also the calm side. I've seen pictures of you meditating in the sauna. I've seen pictures of you
Yeah.
very calm. So that's definitely in the picture. I have one last question for you. Now I know you're a man with a lot of ink and talking to a man who has no ink. What is a tattoo that you have that maybe you got it for a specific person, a personal reading, or a what is one tattoo you have that means a lot to you?
What I had three. First of all, this one, this is the name of my son, Cristobal
Hmm.
Arturo.
There you go.
This one, the samurai code,
Hmm.
honor, loyalty. And the third one was this. That one was my ex girl, but she was like fucking big part of my life.
Hmm.
Yeah.
She helped me a lot to become a better person. She helped me a lot to grow as a person. So I always gonna show her like with a lot of love and with respect, you know, because she was super good with me,
Hmm.
and that does mean a lot. And you know, I was thinking before about your question before.
Hmm.
Shit, I forgot the thing
Oh,
we were
in terms
talking.
of like, tell us something that you
Yeah,
do that a lot of us don't. Mhm.
what I was thinking, I completely forgot. My bad.
That's
Um,
sorry.
was a pop up from thought, and I thinking, fuck, I forgot about it.
Yeah.
But well,
While you
yeah.
was already talking,
Yeah.
you heard it when you were
Yeah, I
already
have it
talking.
like in my
Yeah.
mind. I say, oh, and now
Every
I
day.
completely forgot. Like, shit.
I do that all the time on the show,
Those
bro.
are the
Don't worry.
bro. I'm a fighter. Come on.
Yeah. You got more of an
Forgive me.
excuse.
And
Me,
also, I
I'm
smoke a
like,
lot of weed.
yeah, I just smoke a lot of weed. I haven't got beat like I haven't got hit in the head as much as you, and I still forget everything. So you all good. I think Mal, you said that was your last
Yeah,
question?
that was my last one. Well, I just gonna say, hey, I appreciate that. I especially love the way that you have the task to tell a story and they tell it meaningful, so that it could happen that maybe a bad day you're having,
Yeah,
and you could look on your side like, hey, there's a
yeah.
reason why I have that, and that motivates you further. I think a lot of people have that, but appreciate you sharing that story with us and giving us a different side to you and everything. Back to you, King.
Appreciate that, Mal. And you'll love my shirt too. I can't even really show it. I can't. You can't. But look though, look what it says though. Necessities. You know what I'm saying? You need those
Yeah.
every day, man.
Every
But
single day.
yeah, as I'm about to go into some Karate Combat stuff, yeah. Look, Kick 12, bro. I don't know if you've seen it in the app. I'm pretty sure you talked about it with Prez and like you know, fight ops and everything as far as the weight class switches. What's your opinion on the vote for this weight class switches? Do you feel like we should keep the Karate Combat weight classes that we had, or do you feel like we should switch it to normal MMA standards? Because you're somebody who came from MMA, right? You came
Yeah,
from those weight class standards. What's your opinion on this,
yeah.
and which way are you voting?
I think we should switch it because it's like for me it's like a common language, you know. So we don't get like it's gonna be easier for the fans and for the people to recognize them, you know, because you talk about like super heavyweight and what that means, you know, like it's just light heavyweight and heavyweight, so everybody knows that. Oh, you
Yeah,
say light heavyweight and you already know it's like 205, you know,
yeah.
on heavyweight over it. So yeah, I think we should switch the name to the MMA war, so it's like a big language, you know, everybody understands it.
Yeah, it's very translatable if the guys come over from
Exactly.
wherever they come from. Yeah, we just understand. I think that's like kind of the main sentiment from the people who feel like we should change, and even some of the karate people, like Mao, is somebody who comes from those weight classes, right? He comes from that type of structure, and he understands like where the culture of karate combat is going, the type of fighters that they're bringing in, and being more of world class
Yeah.
strikers than just karate guys, right? It's a world class striking league with a heavy karate base, right?
Yeah.
Instead of being a heavy karate league, right? And I think with that, we got to evolve with the what was going on as well. So I
I
appreciate
gotta
you. Go ahead.
just I got one thing like I hope they don't get me wrong and they don't hate on me, but I personally think karate should be just in the Olympic game. That's it. Because it's healthy and it's safe there. You know, right here is not safe for you guys. So don't come here if you just do karate or you just do one discipline because this is me. This is not fucking karate, you know?
Yeah.
It's
No,
karate
listen,
2025.
Yeah,
you
it's
have
true
to
though.
evolve. You
You
have
have
to
to.
evolve.
It's the same thing with
You
the
have
UFC. The guys in the beginning of the UFC, they had to evolve because Gracie came up in there. He was like, "All right, give me the arm, up, give me the
Yep.
neck, up, give me
Mhm.
that." And then what
exactly
they had to do, they had to evolve. You know what I mean? So at the
everything
end of the
involved.
day, yeah, because if Gracie hadn't got there on UFC one, right? Say he didn't get there in the beginning, it was just straight guys fighting the entire time, and then he got there on UFC 10, right, or 20,
Yeah,
right? They would have had
yeah,
to. They would have had to evolve, and it's the same thing we're seeing here. We're literally on Karate Combat
100%.
54. We're on 54. UFC
Mhm.
is going to be on 314 next month. We're on 54. Guys, we're still growing. Everything's going to adapt. Shit's going to happen. We're going to do it. But shout out. I appreciate your take on that. And, you know, it's a beautiful thing too that they allow the fans and everybody to get involved because some of you fighters are token holders. Y'all get your own say in this too. A lot of times in the leagues, the fighters get no say on what goes on. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, listen, this is the
Yeah.
new rule. It is what it is. But majority of the fighters are token holders. Y'all get paid your prize pools and tokens. You're token holders, and you're allowed to say how you feel and you vote towards what you feel like is right towards your career, which is cool.
Yeah,
I
100%.
like that, man. What else is going on with you though, Mr. Flo? Oh no, this is what I wanted to ask you too. I do want to get into this. I know you got to go soon.
Okay,
Um,
give me one spot. I got you with the question. I just remember.
go
Look,
ahead.
I got it, brother. I got
Let's
it.
go.
No, I love to do trekking, bro, and go in the nature. That's what I love.
Yes.
Like,
Okay.
besides this, I love to do trekking because I came from the mountains. My
Mhm.
Yeah.
country in Los Andes, I'm from the mountains, so I love to go on the mountain.
All
There
right.
you go.
There you go. There's
There you
another
go.
facet of the champ. See,
There we go.
Yeah.
And then you
Go
got a
ahead,
lot
my
of that
bro.
in Denver too. You got a lot of that in
Yeah.
Denver. You put out some dope content doing that. Oh, my question was speaking of Denver, right? In Denver, right?
Yep.
We didn't talk about this. You got cornered by a legend, a legend who was trained by a legend who actually works at Karate Combat. It's such a crazy full circle moment. Dwayne
Yeah.
Ludwig, which is a student of Boss Rutan, who is our chairman of Karate Combat, actually worked with Arturo with his training and
Yes.
leading up to the fight and cornered him. What was that like working with him, bro? Dwayne is absolutely G. I went to the gym with you, the dojo with you,
Yeah.
and just to watch him and the way he
Crazy.
trains and teaches. He's absolutely probably one of my favorite teachers to watch, favorite senseis to watch. Like he's amazing. He understands, and it's just so cool to see what he's doing now versus me watching him fight. But you got to work with him hands on. He showed you a lot of love. He came out, cornered you. He was very happy, very ecstatic on everything. Bro, what was it like working with him, man?
Was a great, it was amazing, bro. It was a dream. It was a dream for me, because my I always been watching and studying Dillashaw and Dua Ludwig since Barra's fight and before that, So I'm talking about 2016, 2015, 10 years ago. So I've been studying them by my whole career. So being there with him was like just crazy. And also, it's cool to connect with people because it is hard to connect with a coach. With my coach, I think we have a good feeling and we understand each other, and he understand me. He always try to do the best to adapt to the athlete. So that's what I love too from Juan. When I came to the gym, was like we connect, but because one, I understood what the game is, but he like gave me like the last tips what I need to fix it.
Yeah,
So was like boom, perfect. I love to work with him. Was amazing every single day there. Like his vibe is good, his energy is good. He's a real coach, and I love the fact to like was like for me come back to my past. To like the dojo, like more
Mm.
like
Yeah.
spiritual, like more like real adoyo, not a gym, adoyo. So was good, bro. And also thank you to Bas Ruden too. Like he plugged me and he helped me with Juan and was amazing. I have a big respect for both of them. Their blueprint for me. So it was amazing, bro. It was super amazing to check with them.
Yeah, super dope, man. Champ. Well, it is 1:30, man. I know you got to run off. You got a very busy schedule, as the champ should, man. We appreciate your time
Yes,
always.
indeed.
Thank you.
Also, not only do you hold the record for the most fights in a single year in Karate Combat, you also hold the record for the most appearances on the Warriors Voice podcast. So we appreciate
Hey,
you. You're a record holder in many places, man. We love to have you. As always,
that's what
you're
we're
welcome to
doing.
come on whenever you want, brother. We love
Thank
you.
you, my
Appreciate you,
guys.
man. We'll let you get back to your day, bro.
Hey, thank you for having me here, guys. Too much love for all of you, and thank you. Have a blessed day.
All right, brother. See you in
Peace.
a
Well
bit.
See you,
said.
Papo.
All right, man. That's
That's big
Arturo
championship
Vergara.
energy, man.
Big
That's big
championship.
champ energy, man.
Big champ energy, man. And speaking of big energy, man, before we let you guys go, I'm gonna let MMA Pickers jump into his segment.
Yes.
I'm
Make me some money.
gonna let Mal go ahead out. Mal's got to do some stuff too. Mal, we appreciate you always and
Hey,
forever. If
much
you
love,
guys
everybody.
don't follow
Exactly.
Mallory Woods, please follow Mallory Woods on Instagram and Twitter. It is Mallory Woods. He is the man. Check him out. He's commentating all over the place, doing all types of stuff, man. Love this guy. He'll be on next week with us, and we appreciate you, brother. We'll see you again.
See you guys.
Deuces. All right, and now it's time for MMA Pickers to do his picks of the week. So I'm gonna get my ugly face on out of here and let him get the full screen, whole thing, baby. I'm out. Do your thing, baby. It's all you.
Let's go. I'm going to keep it nice and simple this week. I got 5 picks that I really like on this card. The first one is Melizakil Costa by sub, and that's at plus 600. Obviously, he's going against a great wrestler. First guy to beat Raul Rosas Jr. in the UFC, actually. And Duncan, decent kickboxer, too. He's looking real good against Arosa until he got hit with that guillotine. I don't think his submission defense is quite there. I think Costa really looked impressive in his last sub, getting that in his last fight, getting that rear naked choke. I think his submission ability and his durability are criminally underrated, and I really, really like the plus 600 tag on that. So we're gonna go Melizakil. I'm butchering that. Costa by sub. Next up, we're gonna go with Lupe Godinez by decision. Lupe Godinez by decision right now is trending at a minus 200. Almost all of her fights go the distance. Neither of these girls really have a lot of finishing power. They're both pretty decent grapplers, decent enough that they shouldn't get subbed. I mean, some of these women are hard to sub. They're so crazy flexible. Yeah, but you get minus 280 on the money line. I think it's worth it, considering the likelihood that it will go to decision, to take the minus 200 on the decision. If you want to get a little risky, risk it for the biscuit. It's not bad to combine this with a money line, either to use it as a booster. But even at minus 200, I think it's extremely likely. Lupe has a big wrestling advantage. I really like her style of striking too. She's kind of like point boxing with a lot of teep and leg kicks. It's very efficient. So yeah, Lupe by decision minus 200. We're gonna skip all the way to Pfeiffer versus Gastelum next. And I know Kevin Gastelum's durable as hell, but Joe Pfeiffer, he's got next level power. I think he's one of the 5 most powerful punchers in the whole UFC, and I like him to get the KO here. He's got the height advantage. I think even though Gastelum has recently committed to middleweight, I still think he's very undersized for the division, and I think this is just a terrible matchup in every regard. When he's going against point fighters like Izzy, it's a little easier to be durable, but I don't think he's gone against somebody who hits as hard as Pfeiffer in a long time. So yeah, we're going to take that Pfeiffer KO prop at plus 240. Seems pretty generous. And let's go to another knockout artist next. I believe he has the second most knockouts in the UFC, or third maybe second most in the division, third in the UFC. Drew Dober. So I love how you already went to Drew Dober before I even said his name. Good job, King. So we got Drew Dober.
I already knew, dog.
Yeah, you already know. Manuel Torres coming off of his recent loss to Ignacio Bahamondes. Drew Dober coming off of his loss to Gene Silva. I'm not going to fault Drew Dober for losing to Gene Silva. Gene Silva is a whole different animal. But let's not forget, Drew Dober's chin broke Gene Silva's hands. I mean, this guy's built different too. His counter wrestling is really not bad. He actually did a good job in the first half of the Mokaev fight. So we'll give him a lot of credit for his counter wrestling. I think Manuel Torres is a lot better on the ground than he is at getting the fight to the ground. And I just think on the feet, Dober's going to be too powerful and too durable for him. Maybe Manuel Torres rushes him early. It's possible. But I think Dober's power and his durability are going to win him the night on the feet. And I see it being a KO. So we'll go Dober KO plus 130. And then for the main event, there's a lot of debate back and forth on this one. Is Moreno on the decline? How good is Usyk really? Did he get fraud checked, or are we still riding high over his, his very close fight with Pantoja? I think there's a very high likelihood this fight goes the distance, and the money line on that I saw was a minus 210. So I'm just going to do a prop bet for this fight. Main event to end in a decision, minus 220 now, minus 220. And again, good for a decent money line bet. Obviously, the profits are a little low, but very high likelihood that it's going to happen, or use it as a parlay booster. I'm going to keep it short and simple on these because a lot of these are really hard to pick with guys with not a lot of experience. But these are the lines that I think are very well priced in this weekend's card and should be a banger. So everybody better be watching it, whether you're a gambling degenerate or not.
100% and I'm gonna tell you something. I'm absolutely livid because, like you said, if you haven't watched the Mexico City card, if you haven't, you need to. You need to. I went to the one last year at Mexico City. I've been to maybe 10 karate combats in the last year. I've probably been to about 6 or 7 UFCs, and I've been to big ones. MSG, T-Mobile twice. I've been to Casilla Center twice. I've been to some of the big cities, like none of the small shit, St. Louis, and I'm talking major cities. Nothing, I say nothing, was like the Mexico City crowd in general, overall, for the entirety of the show. It's a difference. I've had crazy crowds and crazy come-ins like Alex Pereira's walk-in or Trump's walk-in, but all around the board, the entire event, from prelim to main event, the Mexico City crowd is going absolutely bonkers. And don't get the wrestling there unless it's very aggressive wrestling, because they will immediately boo. They are there to see fights. They're there to see warriors, and they bring it out. And I tell you one thing, the Mexicans that do fight on their card, they show up for their country. Majority of the time, they win 80% of the time. So gonna be a really good card, man. I love all of the picks you said. I agree with every one of them. It's absolutely hilarious that Brandon Moreno and Steve Usyk are fighting each other, because it's literally like McLovin is fighting what's Steve Carell? Because that's what they look like. If you see Brandon Moreno with glasses on, he looks like McLovin, and Steve Usyk looks like the fighting version of Steve Carell. I'm just saying, you'll never unsee it, because I've never unseen it. He was
in that wrestling movie with Channing Tatum.
He was. He definitely was. Yep.
Foxcatcher.
Yeah. Absolutely hilarious, man. But yeah, I'm excited to see this, man. And what I was getting at too was that literally, look, I'll show you right here to make sure I don't expose anything. Make sure I expose anything. Hey, look, literally right here it says, "No shot you'd want to go to Mexico, right? I have one ticket left in the Airbnb for a week." I was this close to hopping on a flight to Mexico City, guys. I was this close to doing a show from there. I actually could have went to this card, and it would have been absolutely amazing. But I knew I was going to 314 next year. I've done Mexico City. I've never done a Volk card, so I have to go. I haven't done a Volk card ever. I have to go, and it's a fucking banger. 314 is just as good as a Mexico City card. 314 is a banger. Oh my God, Carlos Bratz. Oh Lord. Oh, my boy, Alberto Montes from Goshen. Oh, Lord, his debut fight. Oh, Lord, it's going to be fire. So that's going to be super dope, man. I'm super excited. Yeah, Mexico City card is going to be crazy. I'm trying to think. I'm excited to see Lupi fight. It's crazy because all of the ones that you bet on are all of the fights I'm excited to see. Also, Raul Rosas Jr., like, even though he's a huge favorite in this, yeah, he's always fun to watch. He also trains at Extreme Couture. He also trains at Extreme Couture, works with Eric a lot with striking and stuff like that. I've seen him there at the gym multiple times. So he's like somebody who's like kind of like part of the team. What I say? Oh, that Martinez guy fights on this one too. Isn't he's the brother of the other chick, the Martinez chick. I think he's the one from Dana White Contender Series, D Martinez. Oh, and my boy Lazy Boy. Hey, Lazy Boy, you good, bro. Say the N-word. We don't care, bro. I don't give a fuck. I don't care, bro.
None of my business.
He didn't say it in a negative way. He was like, "What's up? Cool with me." If he said it to me, I'd be like, "What's good, lazy?" I don't have kept it moving. I don't give a damn. That's just hilarious. Nina was shook when he said it. She was like, "Hey man, I grew up with Mexicans. They say it all the time. It don't fucking matter." Yeah, I live in Little Mexico, bro. You know how many Mexicans I went to school with? My school was 25, 25, 25, and then 10 were the, I mean, 25, 25, 25, and another 25 was jumbled in with the rest of them. It was the Mexicans, blacks, whites, and then everybody else jumbled in, literally. So insane, man. Shout out all the Mexicans. Yeah, Lupe's on this card. I don't think anybody else in this card I really care about. Hold on, A. Hubbard. Why do I feel like I heard that name before?
Austin Hubbard, come on.
Yeah. Okay. He hasn't fought in a long time. This is how long this
tough finalists.
This is how long this man hasn't fought, bro. He still has on like Reebok shorts, bro, on his picture and ESPN.
He's got that's probably his old picture. He was in the UFC, he got cut, and now he's back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He hasn't fought in the UFC in a while. That sounds like Hubbard. Why do I notice that?
He fought within the year. He must have.
No, let me see.
No, you're
without an updated picture. Hold on, let's see.
Yeah,
Hernandez, 307. You're right, Pierre Roundtree. Yeah, but I say I have seen him fight, and then before that it was 227. All right, you're right.
Decent wrestling. He's all right.
Yeah, I don't know why
I'm taking him as the decision, but it's a little too risky to share with the crowd, you know.
Yeah, for sure. That face is, boy, he need a new picture though. That's not it. Smile, buddy. Those lips don't do you well when you pit them like that, buddy.
What kind of lips do you prefer, King Apollo?
I would prefer him to smile so that his lips didn't look so stupidly in front of his face. He looks like this. If you just smile, it would like, or something. I don't know, or at least like
an intimidation tactic.
Suck him in a little bit. He's got some, I don't know. Anyways, that's it. Warriors episode 26. I gotta go. My boys got a hard step at 145, and I got shit to do today, to be honest with you. So I love you guys. Appreciate y'all. This is episode 26 of the Warriors Voice, man. 26 of these things we've done. Absolutely amazing. Gets me every week. The number goes up, doesn't go down, and we don't really miss it if we don't care. My power went out. We still make this shit happen. So we love you guys. Appreciate you. Shout out MMA Pickers, my man. Bringing you guys the bets every week and the great takes on everything UFC, karate combat, whatever we got to talk about, man. I can't do it without my co-hosts every week. So I appreciate them with everything. And shout out our sponsors, Karate Combat, Brave Browser, bringing you some of the best things in technology and combat sports, man. They also work together. Brave is a sponsor of Karate Combat. So shout out both of them, man. Download the Brave Browser now. Download the Karate Combat app now. If you don't have both, they're both very great. They're both you could utilize in your life. And yeah, we're the fuck out of here. So see you later. Deuces.